Hello everyone, Happy New Year. It's been quite an eventful week already. We've only just arrived at the end of the first full week. So I'm going to do a rewind plan with me to just plan the events of this last week. I don't really feel like reliving the week of New Year's. I actually spent most of it in quarantine, which I can discuss in this plan with me while I just lay down the base. But first off, I'm using this kit from Planning World. I believe this is the mystery monthly subscription kit in December. And I love, how Planning World just has so much. I bet I could I could get multiple weeks out of this. Just beautiful foiling, so many lovely details. And I love Just Plan's method that she talked about in one of her videos, where she uses this deco and these blank full boxes to basically make more deco full boxes, which I think is a great idea. So I'm probably going to mix some of those deco on top of full boxes and these just like art ones, just to mix it up a little bit. So yeah, I'm using this sticker kit planner. It's the spiral one. It's undated. The paper is lovely. I've heard so many great things about it from all these different reviews, from like Just Plans, Plan Motion Plan, Gathered Plans, like everyone. So I'm really excited to get to use it. This is just the first week ever, and I guess we'll just get started. So yeah, the week of New Year's, I was in quarantine because my sister's boyfriend, who is basically the only other person we see outside of my family of three, so Brian, my partner, and Daphne, my sister. My sister's boyfriend comes over like every few weeks or so. And, he stays really safe. He doesn't really see anyone other than his roommates. He was a little bit more exposed before when he was going to school. He had a couple of in-person classes, but the last few weeks has been Christmas break. Even his roommates have been gone. Actually, I wonder if I want to just try to stack everything. I don't know if that's gonna fit. It might. Well, get to try the removable peel test. Wow, that was incredibly easy. I'm impressed. Yeah, so he's been completely alone in his apartment, and before the week of Christmas, my sister went over to his apartment just to spend a couple of days. Oh, it's crooked. Oh my god, this is the issue with planning. All these stickers all over your fingers. She went over there and just spent a couple days there, and the only place that they even could have gone was like the grocery store. And they, wear masks and everything. Oh, I ripped a little bit. That's really annoying. I'm not sure how I feel about all of these stacked on top of each other, actually. I think I'm gonna get rid of the middle one since I already ruined it. Sorry, I'm going back and forth so much. We'll just move this up. But then they took an Uber ride to our place. Which, they keep the windows down and everything. It's a little bit higher risk, but ultimately not that much exposure. Guys, I'm being so picky about my bottom washi situation right now. I think I'm just gonna move this down a little bit. I'll just have a little extra space. And, we had a lovely Christmas. And then Sunday evening, so the Sunday of that Christmas weekend, Sunday evening, her boyfriend also took an Uber ride and left, and went back to his place. Tuesday morning, my sister tells me that he couldn't taste his breakfast. And so now we're concerned. Both of them went to get a test that afternoon, and he came back positive. My sister came back negative, but we were like, well, we don't know the timing of this. He could have gotten infected, on the way back. Maybe they got infected before and he, only started showing symptoms like 7 days after or something like that. And maybe my sister hasn't started showing symptoms yet. So maybe she hasn't been detectable, or maybe she got infected from Quinton. So the timeline is pushed back. So we were like, just we couldn't really figure out whether or not it was safe to be interacting. And so we opted to just completely quarantine from each other. And maybe that sounds a little extreme, but we've been, really scared of this virus all year. Brian is immunocompromised. We really haven't been taking any chances. And so we decided to completely quarantine from each other. I stayed in my room, my sister stayed in her room, and Brian moved the guest bedroom mattress down to the living room and stayed down there. And also they were cooking for us and bringing up food on disposable plates and stuff. And that was Tuesday, 2 days before New Year's Eve. And that was the last couple of days of my break from work as well. So that was also really frustrating to be spending the last couple of days of my break away from everyone. It's really not how I wanted to spend that time. Deciding between these scalloped ones. Let's go. I'm going to try the scalloped. But actually, if I'm going to do the scalloped, I want to place the full boxes first. I don't usually do that, but because the scallop I want to kind of overlay over the boxes. I love that these boxes are divided so easily for me to see. So I can just do that. I'm gonna stagger them like this, I guess. Yeah, so we spent a lot of that week in quarantine. I brought my computer up there and we were just in Zoom calls all day. We would play games like Scribbly.io. We would watch movies together. And, there was the silver lining was that that was pretty nice, and it delayed my sister's moving out. She actually moved out today. And so it was nice to get some extra time with her that I didn't think I would have. But, overall it was unpleasant. I was anxious. I was scared. We all got tested that Friday, and our rapid test came back negative. We were waiting a couple days more. Got the test back on Sunday, and then we ultimately decided that we would allow ourselves to break the quarantine Monday night. So yeah, that's how I spent my New Year's Eve. And then this week, which, we'll get into when I actually start filling it out, but, I'm mistaken. I didn't realize I thought these scallop headers were actually going to, hang over or something, but whatever. It's all good. So I didn't really need to do what I just did there. Yeah, we'll get into everything that happened this week, but I also don't want to hash it out too much because I'm sure everyone has had enough this week, honestly. That being said, I don't agree with the whole rhetoric of like, oh, we should just move on, because y'all, we just had a coup attempt on our Capitol building by white supremacists. Like, that is not something we should just be moving on from. Played a lot of video games over my time in quarantine and a little bit before that too. For some reason I feel like I don't give myself a lot of time to play video games unless I'm on like a total break. But there's this game called Cook Serve Delicious that I love. It's pretty stressful. It's like you're the server at a restaurant and you're cooking, meals that people are asking you to make. But everything is based on keyboard strokes. So if you have to, make a hamburger, you'll type M and then, it'll cook the meat patty. And then based on what they want on the burger, you have to type letters, basically like pick the topping. So like L for lettuce or like T for tomato, and you have to do all of this really fast. So basically you don't even click anything, you're just commanding everything over the keyboard. And it's fast paced, and I love stuff like that. I love kind of the adrenaline rush of a video game that's about to like get out of control. A similar kind of game, Brian and I also started playing Overcooked, which was fun. That's a game where you kind of work together to also fulfill orders in a restaurant. Okay, that's like most of the base. I'll do the sidebar now. Let's see. Sorry, I'm like just trying to figure out what we have here. This planner has been truly lovely to plan with so far. I actually have like a quote overlay I can use for this. I'm gonna use one of these. What other games? I also bought this game called House Flipper. It's like an interior design game. That one was decently fun. I think it would be a lot more fun if my computer could handle it. I don't know why, but my computer really doesn't like that game. It's like really slow, and I can only run it when I turn the graphics settings on like the worst quality. So that's kind of annoying. What am I getting in the bottom? I guess I'll just use a full box. One more. Oh, oh my god, like a hair. Okay. All right. We need date dots. Okay, what date was this even? And then let's select some deco for these full boxes. All right, so the base is done, and now we can actually go into my plans. So what I do is I already have pretty much planned out this week. So I mostly do a memory planning approach. I kind of just plan as I go over the week, and that's just kind of hard to sit down and film. So this is what's going to go into my Oral Estelle planner, and then I'm referencing this for this Rewind plan with me, just to be able to like talk through the week. And then when this spread is all done, you know, I'll take pictures and post on my Instagram. You'll notice that Sunday is not filled out yet, but you know, we're halfway through Sunday when I'm filming this. So that'll just like hang out here. Maybe it'll be in the frame, but that's what that is. Okay. Let's grab out all of my little stickers. So this part might be kind of a mess because all the stickers are gonna start flying out. Baby, it's cold outside, or let's get cozy. Let's do this one. So as I said in my last video, I have not bought any stickers since January 1st, and I'm supposed to keep it that way for like the rest of the year. I think I'll probably end around Black Friday because I don't know, I just love Black Friday. And then I was gifted a silhouette machine. And I'm learning how to design with it. So basically, if I want stickers, I make it for myself. And I'm hoping to be able to put a lot of that money that I will save towards my savings. I'm not sure if I want to do budget videos. I love watching them when other people do it. But I don't know, it might be interesting to people. So Monday morning, I was going back to work officially. I worked a little bit over the break, but this was just, you know, back to my full work schedule. So I started at 9 o'clock. I started seeing clients, and then I had a staff meeting that was pretty special. We had a staff meeting where we basically did like this whole reflection exercise just on, you know, our goals for the new year. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't totally goals. We talked about intentions mostly. But I'll do goals. I'm just gonna leave that. Sometimes, you know, when the sticker's down, you just don't want to touch it anymore. So that was really nice. We, you know, as a staff, we talked about our goals for the new year, or our intentions, and, you know, our values that we want to carry into the new year. That was really nice. That's what happens when, you know, you work with a bunch of therapists. Some of these I know are kind of like Christmassy, but I think, you know, it's like also just wintry, so I think it works. And then that evening, I reunited with everyone. It was such a great moment. Finally, you know, got to snuggle everyone, got to hug. So great. How am I going to mark that? I have these like little dim sum stickers from One Ton in a Million that I love to use when talking about things that pertain to Daphne and Brian and me. So yeah, we were a trio through this whole pandemic. And my sister actually moved out today, which is sad because she's been here since like March. And then Monday night was also the premiere of The Bachelor, which I love watching. Like that. I almost want to like do the thing that Rachel from Gather Plan does, where she like stacks the scallops. Let me see if I have a couple of scallops to stack in silver. I mostly have them in gold foil. I might not actually have any. Oh, you know what? I'll just do like a mandala stuffing. So my mandala stash. I feel like when I do plan with these, I need to like be more prepared. I don't know, it's hard for me to pull out stickers beforehand because my planning process is pretty much just like going with it. You know, I think of stickers that I want to use as I'm planning. So it's hard for me to anticipate what I really want. And so I like just pulling out stickers as I go. But I realize that for the viewer, it may be just annoying because I'm just sifting through stuff, and maybe I can just like cut those parts out because it is annoying. But that's also a lot of editing, so I'm not totally sure. I'm just gonna experiment with this channel. Okay, well, I guess that's going down. The Bachelor. So yeah, Matt James, it's gonna be an interesting season. I loved Tisha and Claire's season. I didn't mind that Claire left early with Dale, because it brought Tisha, and I loved Tisha. And I love Tisha and Zach together, so I didn't totally mind how that all went down. And I loved that it was like a much more mature season. We had really thoughtful people. I think it was the first time that I had actually really liked all of the top 4 people that she had hometowns with, because honestly, most of the time I really don't like one of them. So that was nice. So I grew up Supervision Tuesday morning, and then I started doing some design stuff. I wanted to start learning the silhouette software. So I watched a bunch of videos on how to use Silhouette Studio, and I started kind of laying out a weekly kit layout. And then I saw clients. Group supervision, for people who aren't aware. I'm going to use a different color to add some interest. So basically, when you graduate with a master's in social work, you can't get what's called an independent license for at least, in Illinois, you have to work for like 3,000 clinical hours, and you have to get supervision. And that supervision can take place in a group format. And what that really just means is that you meet with a supervisor who has a full license and hopefully has, a lot of experience in the field, and you use that time to just learn from them, discuss, cases as in clients that you're seeing, questions that you may have, and yeah, they basically educate you. And that's what supervision means. I don't know what to do to fill this space, and I already just used a divider. We'll get back to that maybe. Okay. And then after work, I cooked. Well, I didn't do all of the cooking. Brian and I kind of worked together. I chopped a bunch of vegetables. And then they did most of the stir frying. A lot of times when Brian and I cook, it's either they just do it themselves or we kind of work together on it. So I'm going to use this sticker sheet and this little box that did all the chopping. We made japchae, which is one of my favorites. Then over dinner, we watched some TV. I finally started watching Schitt's Creek. I know I'm so late on it, but I've been hearing so much, and I never really fully checked it out. Watched a couple episodes a while back, and for some reason stopped. Now I'm back. I really like it. My sister has a really hard time watching the show because it's really funny. She's just so bothered by everyone's inability to communicate well, and all of the passive aggressiveness and everything, and I'm just I just think it's funny, so. And I think somewhere in season 2, I have no idea, I feel like I've gotten to a place where the characters have started becoming endearing. I imagine that continues. So, I'm enjoying the show. And I did a lot of design work at the end of Tuesday. All right, Wednesday, I had therapy first thing in the morning. I have mostly been watching Vlogalani's videos for my workouts. I followed Cassie for years. I was like working out to her in high school, and I've pretty much never really used anyone else's videos. I truly just really appreciate her videos. So still working out to her videos. And then I had a meeting with my clinical director, and we had what's called consultation. So consultation is a little different from supervision, because in consultation, I'm also, I'm also consulting, like I'm also asking for some help on a clinical case. But she's not my supervisor, so she's not like responsible, I guess, for my caseload. And she's not signing off on hours or anything. The reason is because her license is an LCPC, which means she gets a counselor license, not a social work license. So she actually can't, like the hours that she spends working with me, I can't count that as supervision hours. And then right after consultation, so this was Wednesday, right after consultation, that's when I came downstairs, and my sister was like, Laurel, we have to turn on the news to watch the protests. And I was like, why? Because at that point, I just thought that it was, I knew there were going to be protests. This was the day that, Congress was trying to certify the results of the election. Of course I knew there were going to be protests. So I was just like, okay, why do you want to watch the protests? Because you know what that's about. And then she was like, no, it's like gotten serious. I was like, what are you talking about? And they're like, they're in the Capitol building. And I was like, oh God, well now we have to watch this. So that's, at that point, we turned on the news. And like I said, I'm not going to say too much on this. Anyone who knows me knows where I stand on this issue. Fuck white supremacy, fuck Donald Trump. All of that, right? I don't condone their actions. I don't condone any of, Trump supporters' actions, really. But at the same time, I wasn't surprised. I saw a lot of like, oh, I'm so shocked. And everyone's entitled to, their emotional reaction to this pretty devastating thing that happened. I just wasn't surprised. I mean, Donald Trump has been inciting this kind of violence for so long, that I just was like, oh God, well, now we're here. It's happening. I really hope someone, does something about it this time and realizes that this man is dangerous. Because, we've been telling you guys all along that this man is dangerous. And yeah, I'm amazed that he hasn't been just like immediately removed from office through the 25th Amendment. I'm delighted to see that so many platforms are just banning him right now. That's very vindicating. But, like I said, wasn't surprised. Still, terrible day for our country. Also, the hypocrisy of how that mob was not taken care of by law enforcement, and how there was so many delays in sending out the National Guard, despite the fact that, you know, these like monuments were decked out with security during the Black Lives Matter protests, and there was the vast majority of those protests were not violent. Just goes to show, you know, the double standard in this country. So, not about that. The whole time I was just watching in shock, being like, why is this not being taken care of yet? Like, how is this happening? Okay. So the morning of Thursday, I didn't really talk about what happened on Wednesday, and I just, at some point, I decided to shut off the news and go play with the Silhouette Studio. And Thursday morning, I caught up the news. I was happy to see that Congress certified the results. And Joe Biden's going to be our president. I'm kind of concerned that Trump might, you know, try to incite more stuff before the inauguration. It's a tense time. So, and I don't think I'll feel totally settled about it until, like, well into Biden's presidency. So let's just hope that everything is okay now. Well, not everything, but that we don't get more of this stuff. I worked on Thursday, starting around 12, and then during my break, which was at like 3 o'clock, I take an hour break. At that point, Brian comes to me and says, "Hey, I have not been feeling very well." And it was his stomach, which I had known about. They had been in a lot of stomach pain it wasn't necessarily stomach pain, it was more abdominal pain. And I had been somewhat worried, but it didn't seem like appendicitis. It didn't seem like the typical presentation of it. But at that point I was like, hey, it's been like 3 days. You should go see a doctor. And I urged them to go see a doctor, found the Winners helpline to call. And it makes sense that we've been wary about going to the doctor, trying to stay in as much as possible, not contract COVID unless it's, a serious issue. And I was like, call the doctor, go. I unfortunately have to go back to work. And then they told me that they were going to urgent care. And then at urgent care, they told him, you need to go to the ER. Because this could be a sinusitis, or it could be any other, issue that might need surgery. So here's the doctor's note to get you, attention immediately at the ER. Go. So then Brian went to the ER and stayed there for a very long time. They went in, they got their blood drawn, which apparently took forever. I don't know what I'm doing. Sorry. I got distracted. Yeah, it took them a while. I was, seeing clients with worrying about his health in the back of my mind. Love that. I'm going to turn this upside down. And then I think it took until like, it might have been midnight or 1 a.m. or something that they finally got a CT scan. Like, they were waiting for hours and hours. They went to the ER around 6 p.m. And finally around like 2, they finally got their CT scan. And then they were waiting for a diagnosis and waiting and waiting and waiting. And then at 3 a.m. they got a diagnosis, and turns out that it was something called epiploic appendicitis, which is a pretty rare condition. It's a rare condition, but it's pretty benign actually. It doesn't need surgery. It's supposed to just resolve on its own. And they were prescribed some painkillers, and they came home. They didn't get home until 4 a.m. And so I stayed up all night waiting because, I was worried. We got some takeout because I was like, I'm not cooking. And then while I was waiting all night, I just like hammered out this the silhouette, the sticker kit. At that point, I'd only finished working on the layout, I think, and then I just went into Photoshop and started designing like the full boxes and everything. I don't know why I'm here. I wanted to go in this binder. Yeah, I ended up buying the Kittenish Girl Jazz art that came out recently. It was so pretty, and I realized that it is more expensive to buy the clip art than it is to just get a printed kit. But part of my journey with the not buying stickers thing is to also encourage me to build my design skills and be more creative. So I'm not going to design every single sticker kit. I have plenty of printed sticker kits I can use, but every once in a while, if I see art that blows me away, I'm going to buy it and then just try to design it for myself. And that way I can, learn a new skill, be creative. And I think it's a lot of fun. I really enjoyed doing it. And it also helped that it was a good distraction for worrying about Brian. So then we didn't sleep until 5 a.m. that day. And so of course we slept in on Friday morning. I think until maybe 10:30. I do not have the ability to just like start sleeping at any time in the night and then wake up 8 hours later. It's no longer how I operate. So I only slept about 5 hours. And so I slept in until 10:30, didn't really get out of bed until noon, something like that. And then all I did that day was like go through some of my work emails. So I sent a bunch of emails out. And I was like, that is enough productivity for me today. come to think of it, I think I forgot I had these. I'll fill some space there. Some space there. I'll leave these snowflake deco. Okay. Friday. Honestly, yeah, Friday was just like mostly a blur because I didn't start the day until halfway through, and yeah. But I did listen to my favorite Bachelor podcast. It's called Rosecast. They're so fun. It's hosted by these two guys, and their tagline is like, the #1 Bachelor recap podcast hosted by a male best friend interracial duo. Just love it. So funny. And I actually got a shout out from that episode, which was so exciting. The reason I got a shout out is because I designed this thing. I think it was during quarantine that I decided to do this. I designed this thing. It's like a PDF. Actually, I can show it to you in 1 second. I designed this PDF, and on the computer it's in color. I just didn't print it in color. But it has all the contestants from this season's Bachelor. And the reason we do this is because a lot of Bachelor Nation likes to do these things called Bachelor brackets, where you predict, how far each contestant is going to make it. And so I designed this thing with, all these people, their bio, their name, their age, like what they do, where they're from, and then like a couple of fun facts that they had listed on the website. And then I used this to take notes on them during the episode so that I could like actually learn who they all are and be able to make more accurate predictions. Otherwise, if I just watch the episode, I'm just going to forget everyone. So that's why I did that. And then I sent it in to the guys who host Rosecast podcast, because I thought like, hey, maybe they could send it to all of their followers, and they loved it, and they did, and they gave me a shout out during the podcast episode, and I was blushing. They called it breathtaking. I was so excited. I was so over the moon. So yeah, that's that's what I did there. And then on Friday night we ordered from this new restaurant that I've never heard of called Urban Belly. They're in Chicago. It's like owned by an Asian American. And so I just wanted to try it out. Okay, so Friday night I, was mostly just chilling, but then we had to discuss like move-in plans for my sister. So I don't know what icon to use here. Maybe there's something in my like chore stuff. The reason we had to plan it is because, so originally we were gonna rely on Brian to do a lot of the lifting of the boxes and furniture and things, but obviously we don't want to push it with there's the fact that they are recovering from their abdominal issue. So we were trying to like figure out, are we gonna rent a U-Haul? Because if we use Brian's car, we were probably gonna have to make multiple trips, which would just be a burden on Brian. or if we were going to push off the move out for a while, but then it was going to overlap with Daphne's classes starting, and that was going to be really stressful. So we ended up renting a U-Haul, and Brian was like, I think I'll be able to just make one trip and it'll be okay. Let's see, Saturday I worked out first thing in the morning. I like to make it consistent, so I'm gonna mark it the same exact way. Actually, it wasn't first thing in the morning. I don't know what I'm talking about. I had one client early in the morning, but then I knew that I had like a break in the middle of the day because I had 2 clients cancel for various reasons, which meant that I had like a 3-hour gap between my first client and my next one in the afternoon. So that's why I decided to get a workout in there. And you know, a lot of my sessions this week were about the U.S. Capitol coup. I mean, not entirely, but, you know, obviously a lot of people mentioned it and we processed our emotions around it. And, you know, that is one part of mental health that is kind of exhausting. You know, whenever something really big happens, I process it over and over again with people all week. And, you know, discuss their emotions and all of it. And that's the thing, like, when these tragedies happen, you know, people in mental health care just deal with it over and over again, and have to kind of relive it. And this whole pandemic, right? I'm living it too. I just had a COVID scare where I was really anxious, but then kind of had to just pretend that nothing was going on when I was meeting with my clients. And your doctors have been dealing with this, gosh, you know, they're endangering their lives every day, working with people. And my heart goes out to everyone who is shouldering the burden of this pandemic and all of the political events that have happened this year. And obviously, you know, most of that falls heavily on Black people, other people of color in this country. And it's high time we recognize that. Okay, what did I do afterwards? Oh, I, did some cleaning. You know, something that I wish boxes had more of were the third boxes. I don't use half boxes a lot, actually, because they just take up so much room. So I would love if, see, like that cuts into that and it's too big. So I would love if we had more, like if there was a higher proportion of third boxes. But it also doesn't really matter now because I won't be buying any new kits for a while. But for the kit I designed for myself, I put a bunch of third boxes. I actually can't print it out for a while because I don't have a color printer. So I don't know. Okay, this is what I did. I cleaned the bathroom, but I also did a lot of tidying up of my bedroom. So I'm just gonna use tidy up. I'm sorry, I'm having such an issue here with this. But yeah, I can't print out my sticker kit for a while. Oh, I should have switched these. Oh, let's see if I can pull this up or if I'm gonna need undo. Wow, this paper is kind of magical. Most paper with these like clear sticker paper, I cannot get it up without undo. So I'm impressed. There, that looks better, more balanced. In the evening, I watched some Schitt's Creek. I've been hearing a lot about two different shows lately, Queen's Gambit and Bridgerton. And I am curious if I would like either of them. You know, at first I heard that Queen's Gambit is about chess mostly, so I wasn't that interested. Then I heard there's also like an addiction storyline, so I might check it out. Bridgerton, I'm not as interested in, but I don't know, it's Shonda. Probably could get me hooked. Alright, and then I watched some YouTube. Catching up on Playing With Me's and such. And then my sister, it's really cute. We wanted to spend some quality time together, considering it's my sister's last day here. And so she actually got ready for bed with us and brought her mattress in, and then grabbed her mattress and put it on the floor of our bedroom, and then we just kind of had a fun little sleepover, which was so cute. And we got to just like chat and fall asleep together. And we had a pretty sleepy morning, but then of course we got to move and stuff. More boxes. I don't really have like moving out stickers. I mean, that makes sense. It's not really a common thing that I'm doing all the time. But I bet I have like chores, like something with chores that might have like boxes or something. That will work. My sister and Brian went to get the U-Haul, and then I helped move boxes into U-Haul. Then after they left, I did some cleaning of just like the kitchen area and the recycling. So I'll use this one. Declutter. And then I guess I'm here. It's kind of weird to be doing a rewind and then arrive to the time that you're actually at. It's kind of funny. guess I'll just use this like YouTube sign. And then after that, I'll just, you know, edit and upload. And then I think I'm gonna say that I will give Queen's Gambit a try. I'm gonna watch that. And then I'm gonna have to do groceries. So it's probably the last like eventful thing that will be happening tonight. Just relax, and then it'll be the start of a new work week tomorrow. Still amazed by how that comes up so easily. Do a little snowflake border. I'm gonna try to do some deco as well. Just make these full boxes a little bit more fun. And I'll fill out the sidebar later, but there you have it. This is my full week. These are all the stickers I used. So a bunch of headers and boxes left. Still a lot of deco. I don't ever really use heart checklists. And a lot of boxes. So I can definitely get at least another full week out of this. So that's really exciting. And that is the rewind spread for this last week. And borrow from Viv, loves to plan the twerk and the wiggle, just for you to see all the foil. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you want to continue seeing my videos. Thank you. Bye.